Bordeaux is quite an old city. It's on the coast in the south of France. Lots of history, beautiful architecture, a lot of culture. Bordeaux is a medium-sized city with a strong skateboarding community and a big skate scene. Just like sit down on the docks for like 2 hours and you'll see like 1,000 skaters pushing in front of you. It's crazy now. And it's just growing and growing. We got very smooth sidewalks, like the whole downtown is full of marble. I think skateboarding is big in Bordeaux because the city is really good for skateboarding. I find that more and more people are being interested in skateboarding whether they skate or not. They see like the fact of moving freely is art, you know, and a lot of people, they start getting that. Your skateboarding depends on where you come from. We don't have like schoolyards with picnic tables, or we don't have like big handrails, or like very few, you know. So, I mean, you're gonna skate what you have, you're gonna skate what the city offers you. To me, skateboarding really is about being yourself and being creative in a way that eventually you can find your own identity. It's very important to be able to create your own tricks, to be able to do what feels good. Everybody out there has their own tricks, everybody skates the way they feel like skating.
Sick.
Mais le problème, vous voyez, c'est que les angles et tout, ils sont tombés, les dalles, elles tombent.
Ouais, mais c'est pas que nous, ça.
Non, non, je dis pas où, hein.
Ouais.
Je dis, voilà, c'est ce qui se passait.
Ça marche.
À un moment donné, ils tapaient dessus, donc maintenant, ils veulent plus.
We've had problems with the city for almost 2 decades. Skateboarding was just forbidden, we would get tickets, kids would get chased by the police. With skateboarding becoming so popular in Bordeaux, the city just didn't know how to react and how to handle it. They started developing a repressive policy against skateboarding. It's interesting to see cities for decades spending money trying to prevent skateboarding with defensive architecture such as skate stoppers and knobs, and it doesn't make sense. Progressive cities, modern cities should stop using defensive, aggressive architecture in order to integrate everyone and just find solutions. A city like Bordeaux is very condensed, narrow streets, skateboarding is loud. So you get some people who complain about the noise and they're like, you guys have a skate park, why don't you go to the skate park? You go to the skate park, skateboarding is forbidden in the streets, that's it, you know, but it's never gonna work like that, you know. They think by building skate parks, they're gonna stop street skating, but it's not the case. When you build a skate park, you actually create more street skaters. If you're a 12-year-old and you go like, you have a skate park built next to your house, you're gonna start skateboarding, and 2 years later you open like any skate magazine or you watch like most skate videos, it happens in the streets. This is the essence of skateboarding. So all this whole idea of like pushing skaters in like specific terrains and forbidding skateboarding in the streets, it's not gonna work. I was living in America for a few years, and when I came back, the situation was terrible. I know how important skateboarding is in the life of so many people here, and there is probably something we can do about it. I believe now in 2019, with the popularity of skateboarding, cities and politicians, they're gonna have to stand against or for skateboarding. I think it was important to just like hear everybody, listen to everyone, sit down and have a big discussion about it. And I think it was healthy to do so, you know. I think the trick really was to put ourselves in their shoes and understand their point of view. All right, we know like skateboarding is loud, skateboarding is a loud activity. We like to skate like anywhere, whenever, however, you know, but there are solutions. Compromising and learning how to live together is key, you know, in a modern city. You can't just go with your own idea and be like, oh, I want to do this, fuck everything, you know, like, you live with other people, otherwise, like, you don't live in a city, you know what I mean? So, skateboarding needs to be embraced on some of these plazas because it's going to happen regardless, and I believe it's positive for the city to have public spaces where kids and people can play and interact with each other, you know? I mean, a city center is about living, right? So if people can drive a car, if people can like party in the city, like we can definitely skate. People like us, we don't want to be stuck to a specific terrain. We want, open public space, shared public space, where everyone is free to express himself and be creative, In skateboarding, to me, the star is the city. When you shoot a skateboarding trick, the environment is extremely important, We have skate tourism in Bordeaux. We have people who come from Japan, from Australia, from America to skate the streets of Bordeaux because they've watched videos of it, So it's also an economical aspect for a city, We'll be stronger if we actually work together. And the city needs to evolve with new practices, new cultural urban activities such as skateboarding, because if you know how to integrate them in the city, they can be extremely beneficial. Like, for example, in Bordeaux, they want less cars in the city. Skateboarding is awesome for that, it's perfect. You can push from a place to another and then jump in a bus with your skateboard. They want more culture, they want more sport for the youth. Skateboarding is an extremely accessible tool and sport and cultural way also for kids to meet up and to create social interactions. With skateboarding, you can really give life to a lot of dormant places of the city. A lot of places are actually pretty much abandoned, in all cities. And with skateboarding, you have an amazing tool to give life to these places again.
Du coup, moi, je vais me mettre dans l'association avec eux. Voilà. Merci beaucoup.
Merci Farid.
Ah, Farid, hein?
Skater à une de base. Ouais.
We created a little crew with skate shops, pros, local associations, the local museum, a bunch of cultural actors of the city. We proposed that deal for some of the fully forbidden plazas in the city that are really good to skate and that we will still skate at night, have some time frames where we're allowed to skate in a way that this public space can be shared. And that worked. People respected the time frames. It was more mellow to skate at other places. And I could see all the skaters coming back, meeting up during these sunny afternoons. And the average citizen is more okay with what's legal than what's illegal, And if you change the policy of the city, the average citizen is going to change the way he looks at skating. Here we are in front of the Modern Art Museum of Bordeaux. We're going to visit the Arc en Rêve, Centre d'Architecture. They've been a big help for the skate community in Bordeaux by setting up exhibitions about the positive aspects of skateboarding in the city.
After this exhibition, we met a new public. Skate is a way to see the city. Our job is to help skaters and to convince politicians and professionals to work with this idea.
Here are some images from the exhibition Land Skating Anywhere 2 years ago. That was a big help for the skate community. A cool exhibition with a lot of photos from local skaters, all shot by David Manode. We have some politicians visiting the exhibition. It was a great way for us to change some people's minds on what skateboarding is about, and why it's important. We even built some skatable sculptures that we skated inside the museum.
It was really a great time for us. People really talk together, skaters with the association against the skate. For us, it's probably one of our best exhibitions.
Skateboarding, art, creativity, and freedom of expression are all connected, all related. About a year ago, I had a call from the cultural department of the city. The mayor asked us to start working on imagining the city of the future for skateboarding. To me, the city of the future integrates an art form like skateboarding in the city planning. I think as skateboarders, it's very important that we can help cities do so in an authentic way. My idea was to create a skatable route with different skatable sculptures. It was a lot of work, a lot of meetings. We had to meet with a lot of different departments of the city. It was amazing for me to have the city give me full control on this project and a budget to create these sculptures. This is where they vote and decide all the laws and big decisions for the city of Bordeaux. They spoke about skateboarding here. I contacted my friend Nicolas Malinovsky, who's a cool artist and designer who comes from the skateboarding world. I wanted to work with someone like Nicolas because for me, it's very important that skateboarding stays in the hands of skateboarders, you know? Anything really skateboard related needs to be run by skaters. Anything, whether you work with a city and you're trying to communicate about skating, whether you're like making a skate park, a skate spa, making a skate video, a skate photo, anything skate related, if we want to keep the culture authentic, needs to be run by skaters, you know?
I discovered Leo when I was doing a skateboard magazine called Chill Magazine. I did an interview of Leo, and he was a really interesting kid. I try to skate every week, mostly thanks to Leo that texts me, put me some messages, go skate tonight, go skate this afternoon, it's sunny, go skate. When Leo had the opportunity to make an art project with the city, it was a really good idea just to work together, and it seemed just natural. And the color code is 5 rectangles put together. The color always stay together, so it's a perfect way to dress any kind of obstacle with colors. A strong visual identity that people can recognize immediately when they are in the street.
These are the 3D renderings Nico did for the different locations. We're going to put some skatable sculptures. All these sculptures are going to create a route. You can go from A, B, C, D, E, F, you know, like cruise from one to the other. And the message is that, you know, skateboarding takes place all around the city in different locations. So this goes here. Yeah. This goes here. The idea of this object is to, it's like a ledge, a classic ledge with 3 chairs on top of the ledge. And the idea is to express the fact that we can all like share the same object or live in the same space, cohabitate, like all the people who don't skate, they can sit on the chairs and hang out and like, you know, read or whatever, and we can skate on the same object and it's fine, it's gonna be okay. So Seb is an ex-pro skater, very influential skater in Bordeaux, a very influential person in my life. Seb is a creative genius and he built pretty much the entire skate park at Darwin. Having him build the sculptures made complete sense to me, you know. The idea really is to give like multi-use objects. It's free for everyone to use, play, sit down on, anything really. Like we are excited to see what's going to happen with the sculptures other than skateboarding, you know. This is the double mirror bank, and as you can see when we take out the plastic, this is like an unbreakable mirror that's going to be skatable. Unbreakable, baby. I'm very excited to see how the sculptures are going to be used, you know. Whether it's someone like sitting on the sculptures, playing on the sculptures, biking, skateboarding, whatever happens, I'm happy with, you know. In order to communicate on the play project, the city actually opened us the doors of the classical National Opera in Bordeaux, which is a classified 17th century building.
The Bordeaux is quite light in terms of color, and when you put some touch of colors like this, it's super nice.
It was an amazing experience, yeah, to be able to bring a couple sculptures inside the opera and skate them in this beautiful environment. One of the first politicians who helped out in Bordeaux was Ariel Piazza, the Sport and Youth Department.
Je pense que dans tout projet, il faut quelqu'un qui le porte avec passion et engagement. Léo a cette passion, de très connu dans la communauté des skaters, qui sait parler aux jeunes et qui aime sa ville. Dans ce projet de l'organisation du skate dans la ville, c'était aussi toucher un point essentiel sociétal qui est de vivre ensemble et de se partager la ville et de cohabiter ensemble. Et pour le maire, il est très important que les jeunes prennent leur place dans la ville.
A city like Bordeaux, they used to spend money on skate stoppers. Now we're pushing so they can spend money on integrating and making skateboarding more legit in the city, you know. I'm hoping this project is gonna inspire other cities and other skaters to do the same. With skating becoming so mainstream and so popular, it's important that skaters say something about how they perceive skateboarding and how they can help the community, you know. One very important aspect of skateboarding is community. That's the way you can communicate, that's the way you can be strong, just by joining forces and being together, you know. And if you learn how to be friends with everyone in the community and to work together, that's how you can make things happen, you know.